welcome back to continuing coverage of the South Carolina AgriBiz and Farm Expo. I'm Donna London with Clemson University, and we have been live web streaming all day, and we'll continue through tomorrow as well. But joining us right now is Dr. Steve Meadows, and he is Director of PSA, Public Service Activity Program Integration. He's also an Associate Dean, and he's a beef cattleman as well. Dr. Meadows, I want to thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Now, tell me first of all about your work with agriculture, and particularly in the animal business.
Okay. We can do that. We'll have to back up and do a little history lesson.
Oh my!
But
make it short.
That's fine. No, I started out as an assistant county agent, focusing on livestock, and later became a beef cattle specialist for the university, and worked in that area. And it's very fulfilling working with producers and seeing the industry grow here in the state. And particularly at the end there, before I transitioned into administration, was program team leader and was able to hire some young agents to pass the torch to, and they're doing a really fine job now in working with the cattle industry here in South Carolina.
Well, and given your experience, I'm sure you know how important it is that we have extension, that we have agents and information out there on the ground all across the state. Tell us a little bit about what Clemson does in that regard, and what you hear from your constituents.
Sure. Clemson has an office in all 46 counties, and we have agents covering all 46 counties. We have 8 program teams within Extension that run the gambit from livestock, agronomics to horticulture, food safety, community economic development, 4-H, and forestry. So we have a lot of different expertise that is able for the university, Clemson University, to do from the research side, deliver to the agents, and then deliver to the citizens. That's the definition of extension, is taking the university to the people. And it's been a really good year the past 2 years in terms of we've been able to hire a lot of new talent within extension. Not only that, PSA has been able to hire new directors at 2 of our research and education centers, which there's 5 of those in the state. So there's research components out there in the state outside of what's at Clemson. At the same time, the county agents are able to feed off of that information, again, to improve agriculture in South Carolina. And that's the story we tell when we go out, and I'm having a lot of regional listening sessions right now out in the state to listen to the producers of the state as to what they need from Clemson University in a research arena and whatever particular commodity or problem they may have with their operation, for us to address those problems and then hopefully be able to match up the right people to the problem if we don't have the people, possibly create positions in the future if it's a big enough problem statewide to get at that problem to move us ahead a little bit more.
And that's something we don't hear about right now, particularly coming out of a downturn in the economy, of having people on board and having more people on board or rehiring or whatever it is that we do. But at the same time, it sounds like the agricultural industry is booming now.
It's the largest industry in South Carolina, and I know you've heard that because I know you had the commissioner on earlier.
Right.
Over $34 million, and the commissioner, I salute them at South Carolina Department of Ag for having the vision to move that to $50 billion by the year 2020. There's one way to make that happen: all of us working together. And I have never in my career witnessed the working relationship any better than it is between not only South Carolina Department of Ag, Clemson University, but Palmetto Agribusiness Council, Rural Resource Coalition, Carolina Farm Stewardship. Just the team is much larger now. We're able to tell the word. The state is listening. The legislature is supportive of what's going on now in the growth in agriculture as well. And the other thing that I think people need to hear that they may miss is all of us are concerned about green space. A healthy ag economy is a guarantee of green space. If you don't have that healthy economy, that land has an alternative use and is probably growing houses and strip malls. And we all love to see that beautiful crop growing or that forest growing. And again, a healthy ag economy does that for us.
And once again, that happens through partnerships. So people
Exactly.
knowing some different ways to build and things like that, so that we can conserve those areas and keep that agriculture out there and being as prosperous as it is beginning to be. I'm wondering if you're seeing requests from the communities for different things. I know you had mentioned about research, but just the mindset, you know, and a lot of the people that I've spoken with today are talking about the eating local.
That's correct.
You know, looking at different methods of fertilization or irrigation or whatever. And I'm wondering if your constituents are coming at you with constantly asking for new methods.
We've had 14 of those regional listening sessions. I think we have 4 more to go. I've heard that in all 14 listening sessions.
So it's out there.
It's out there, and the consumer is interested, obviously, where their food comes from. Is that food product safe, and what's the nutritional value of that product? And also, how do you prepare it? How do you cook it? It's not a canned product anymore. It's fresh.
Right.
And if you look at what South Carolina grows, we spend little over $2 billion on produce here. I mean, that's what we grow. We spend $10 billion. There's $8 billion worth of opportunity in South Carolina right now to close that deficit. And as my friend Jack Schuler from the Palmetto Agribusiness Council says, every time you see a truck come in from Florida, a truck come in from California, you can watch an armored car go out behind it, because they're taking our money out of state. And there's a lot of young people now interested in growing locally grown product. There's a segment of the society, the younger housewife, younger moms, you know, young single people, are realizing that, hey, these locally grown products is what we want because we know more about them.
Right.
And it's not an imported product. A lot of our produce is imported if you read the labels.
Sure.
So there is huge potential in this state for that. And we are, at Clemson within PSA, going to make targeted hires, and have already started, to help these young entrepreneurs, these young folks looking at a new ag enterprise, and maybe an existing producer who's been potentially a cotton producer or soybean, looking at, okay, maybe I need to put in 50 acres of locally grown vegetable. What's the profit margins? What do I need to do? So we're looking at hiring some agribusiness agents, agribusiness specialists that can sit down with them and do a true financial enterprise analysis.
That's exciting, and I know that today there's been a whole day of a conference, basically on a food entrepreneurs conference.
Correct.
Fabulous, fabulous. It's an exciting time to be a part of agriculture.
It is that.
Well, I wish you well. I look forward to talking with you again about what's going on. I know you're getting ready to do that talk right now.
I am.
So I want to thank you, Dr. Steve Meadows, and I want you to stay tuned. We're going to be back with live continuing coverage of the South Carolina AgriBiz and Farm Expo for 2014.